Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for January 13th, 2026. Yesterday we had Base and Rising Sun. Today we have just Rising Sun. And just off the cuff, 2-5 with a mass looks promising. Although not actually sure. Well, I suppose with a mass, the split doesn't matter very much, does it? Yeah, never mind. Okay. Anyway, so we've got River Shrine and Change for trashing. River Shrine is one of the omens that can activate growth. Which could be pretty good with Goldmine, I note. For draw, Ninja, Ronin, Poet. Root Cellar is draw, but a very expensive option for that. I guess there are times, so we got Craftsman here, there are times where you can like just stay locked in debt for the entire game, and then like with like some kind of Craftsman thing, and in that scenario drawing with Root Cellar would be completely fine. I don't know if this is such a scenario. I guess that would like the Goldmine thing with Growth Active would play into like, you know, aggressively piling the duchies with Craftsman, if nothing else. Anyway, so there's a decent amount of draw on the board. Obviously, Ninja is also a hand size attack, so that's going to suppress the draw somewhat. But then again, Ronin is a pretty hard counter to that. So yeah, Rustic Village is the only plus action, so that's going to be pretty important. And then gains, we've got Goldmine gives plus buy and also gives the golds that then come with additional card with growth, and then Craftsman can gain cards. Change isn't net gains, but it can turn things into other things. I guess that's it as far as gains are concerned. So I think, how is River Shrine worded? If you didn't gain any cards in your buy phase, right? Okay, so there's not like actively a synergy between River Shrine and a mass, but having the also a mass is if you have no action cards in play, so never mind on that. But River Shrine still looks good as a trasher. Like there's a lot of good cards to gain that cost less than 5, so I think picking up an early River Shrine, and then we could just go with a Ronin as a Ninja counter rather than getting it bothering with Ninja. And Ninja attacking on a turn where we have River Shrine isn't even necessarily too bad. Because, like, you know, we're like, well, we're just going to play River Shrine, trash 2 cards, and we don't need treasures anyway. So I'm kind of thinking of skipping Ninja, which is a pretty rare thing. I'm just trying to think. So if we go River Shrine Ronin, and we have a 12 card deck, the downside scenario is where we don't see River Shrine turn 3. Well, we have a 12 card deck, but 11 cards, and then the Ronin. There's only a 5 in 11 chance that we see River Shrine turn 3, and if we don't see River Shrine turn 3, then we have to gamble on whether to just play the Ronin or not. So that's the big downside case there. I mean, okay, I'm gonna get my River Shrine. I know that I'm gonna do that. The bot amasses a change. Interesting. So if the bot had taken a ninja, I would have been more inclined to just say, okay, let's go ahead and get the Ronin. As it is, it might still be correct. Yeah, like there is definitely a risk of drawing the River Shrine dead, as I was trying to say. If we don't see the River Shrine in our turn 3 hand and we play Ronin, then we draw 2 cards out of 6. So we have a 1/3 chance of drawing the River Shrine dead. So the overall chances of that are not particularly high. It's like 6 and 11 times 2 and times 1/3. 2 and 11. Obviously, like triggering the shuffle isn't like great. Even if we don't draw the River Shrine dead, we'd much rather trigger the shuffle, with River Shrine plus the card that we gain in it, which would probably be Rustic Village. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Ronin. Talk myself into it. Okay. We do get to see the Ronin. We don't get to trash 2 estates. A little unfortunate, but I'm going to take a Rustic Village. Now, there is an argument here for just amassing maybe another Rustic Village. Yeah. We play Ronin, we draw 4 cards out of... Well, we know... I mean, we know that's a copper. But then we draw 3 cards out of 6, 2 of which are Rustic Village, River Shrine. Drawing the Rustic Village wouldn't really matter too much. Drawing the River Shrine would be unfortunate. But we can amass here and get anything we want. We could add another Rustic Village. We could also add another terminal and figure, well, the odds are that we won't see both of the terminals next turn, and we can play... Although the Ronin, it would be reasonably likely to draw that terminal, so maybe it is better to just go ahead and take another Rustic Village for now. I'm not quite sure what other terminal we want anyway. Maybe Craftsman. I guess the other thing we could do is get a gold mine. I don't super care about having the gold mine for plus buy just yet, and I don't anticipate wanting to gain a gold until growth is active, but getting it now while it's convenient would not be a bad thing. And there might even be a case for going ahead and gaining a gold without growth active just because of River Shrine, and we get to pay off the debt. I think I prefer the Rustic Village, though. What is this? What is this? This is why I prefer the Rustic Village. Come on! Okay, so 7 cards down there. If we see a Rustic Village, we play that. So we have 5 cards, then we play 1. We have 1 card left. We discard 2. We draw another card. Yeah, we can. So long as we see at least 1 Rustic Village, we can trigger the shuffle and then play the Ronin. So I think this is okay. Now, we don't need another rustic village just yet. Could take a craftsman, could take a change. We do still have 2 estates left, for what that's worth. The nice thing about change is that it could also gain golds, though it's just going to be less efficient at that, like with the trigger growth, but it's just going to be less efficient than gold mine at that. The bot hasn't gotten a Ronin, so the other thing we could do is get a ninja. Maybe that's the play. Oh, there's the Ronin. Okay. Fine. I would like to trash this estate. Okay. I guess we're going to get to trash it anyway. Growth is active, and we don't have enough money to get a gold mine thanks to not having found enough estates to trash with the River Shrine. I had not even considered this possibility. Well, we could change into gold mine. We could even potentially change, now that the bot has a Ronin, we could even potentially change ninja. We kind of need another rustic village. Well, we don't need it if we're gonna not play the ninja, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Or we could just take a craftsman. The nice thing about the change is that we can change golds into provinces, right? We're going to be gaining the golds. Assuming we can pay off our debt, which that might be a bit tricky, admittedly. Definitely not excited about having the ninja into the bot having a Ronin, so like that's another reason more inclined towards the change. Yeah, let's go with that. So if we keep, no, I don't think it makes sense to keep the River Shrine. Problem is now we're not going to actually be able to draw. The gold mine or the gold. But I suppose that's okay. We can trash, pay off our debt, buy nothing, and take another rustic village. All right. What do we want to gain with our gold here? I need to decide that quite immediately. And also, well, we could just take 1,000,000 debt and change copper to gold. Or not. Well, so once we play the gold mine. No, but then we'll have the debt. I mean, I guess we could already do gold to province. What's the downside to that? I'm not seeing much. I mean, we pass up the opportunity to gain something via growth, which, I mean, but what do we want to gain? Like another gold mine? I think we're gonna take a rustic village off the river shrine, play yeah. We can't like get enough cards into our deck to make another Ronin useful, as far as I can see. I should probably be playing the Ronin. Like, I should have played the Ronin before the Rustic Village so that I could gain the gold and then draw it with this Rustic Village. Didn't think about that, but obviously that would have paid off some more debt. Wonder if we just take Rustic Village now, just to have the Rustic Villages, and then we can take, like, whatever else off the future golds next turn anyway. There's no way we're changing gold to province this turn that I can see, so I don't have to worry about that. Like, it's just not possible. I think we can go ahead and do this. Or well, I'm gonna play this one first because I can do change. There's nothing for River Shrine to trash, but we do want to get it in play. Okay. So you can limit the bot's upside by just taking the last Rustic Village. We can do that with the River Shrine. we're gonna have 2 coins, except we're actually gonna have 0 coins because we're gonna gain 2 more golds. So, dum. What else should we gain? Second Ronin still seems unnecessary. Another change? Another change makes sense. And maybe we do want a second Ronin at this point. Yeah, I don't know. We'll probably want it at some point. I'm not sure if we need it just yet, but... Alright, we do want to do this so that we can then do that. We actually have 3 coins because of the change gain that I was not accounting for, but in any case, I want that rustic village. Oh, the problem with the second change is we're not going to be able to change 2 cards in a turn because we don't have virtual coins. We need Samurai. We're probably not going to do that. Yeah, I should not have taken a second change. That was pointless, I think. I want to spend all the rustic villages for the same reason as mentioned earlier. We'll cycle like this. Okay, get the river shrine in play. We do want, however, to find one of the changes. I should have held on to one of the changes. Yeah, that was a mistake. Okay. Okay. Alright, now what? The bot didn't even trigger a shuffle. I wonder if we should get that ninja back. Like, where is its Ronin? Where are its Ronins, actually? Oh no, it says bottom deck's 4 cards. Wait, why can't I see... Never mind. I mean, of course, if the bot were to not find one of its villages, the ninja would still be effective. We could also just start gaining duchies, I suppose. Be nice to do that after we trigger the shuffle, but does it matter? Ronin is going to draw 3 cards right now. That last card is presumably another gold. Oh, no, wait. No, well, there's a gold and there's a change in those last 2 cards. Maybe just take one more gold mine. I don't want to gain duchy until after triggering the shuffle, is the reasoning here. Gain one more gold mine. I'm thinking maybe I should actually decline to gain a gold here. With a change. Play the Ronin, draw 5 cards out of 6. Yeah. Yeah, I think this works out best. Well, no, wait. If we... Yeah, I'm not. I'm having a little of a hard time seeing a way to leverage this last rustic village into something useful. But because here, if we gain the gold and then we draw with rustic village, we did like we draw. Oh no, wait, maybe this does work. We gain gold duchy, then we draw. Yeah, this totally works. Yeah, okay, cool. And we actually have enough to buy a province. How about that? How about that? It'd be a little unfortunate if we don't have another village on top, because I'd like to play the change to trash gold to province, but one of the... Oh! Buys 2 provinces. Okay, surely we can... Alright, well, I'm gonna do that. Heh. I mean, we have plenty of... Like, we can just do this. We have plenty of money to be able to get to the last province off of that. It's not ideal, but actually, no, it's not ideal because the change would also give 3 coins, but you know, we cost ourselves 2 coins. Optimally, we would take some duchies with gold mine, but we need to not put ourselves in too much debt. So I don't know. I guess I'm gonna... How much gold did we have last turn? 5 gold. Okay. That's 15 coins. So right there. Doing this either way. 2, 3, 4. The rustic village being able to draw golds that gold mine gains is still potentially relevant. We have 4 debt, so we have 11 net coins in our deck right now. I mean, I really probably shouldn't like mess around. Oh, the other thing Rustic Village is useful for is like sifting past the... I could just play the Ronin now. Yeah. It's probably better to just do that. Okay, we have right now we have exactly enough for province. I'm just gonna play this cautiously. Dang it. I guess getting the River Shrine into play earlier in the turn would have been good. Yeah, it's a good thing I didn't take any golds. Gold mine. We do have another gold in those 3 cards. There's definitely like a world where we could have made that work. I guess we probably would have needed a 3rd Ronin or something to really make it work. I don't know. All right, so yeah, ultimately a pretty fast kingdom with the growth stuff. It didn't feel like the smoothest deck to play by any means. Probably the most powerful I've seen Goldmine be. It's a little surprising I haven't run into Goldmine plus growth before, but I don't think I have. Also, one of the weakest Ninja Kingdoms I think I've experienced. The bot did not. The bot just didn't get thin, and like I did maybe arguably have a point. Well, I definitely had a point where I was a little over thin early in the game in that I had I only had 4 coppers left at one point when I wanted to gain a 5. And that was, as I mentioned, due to River Shrine not colliding with estates early in the game. But aside from that, I mean, coppers are bad. You don't want coppers in your deck on this board, or on most boards, but this board in particular, for sure, you don't. And the bot not playing with River Shrine, I think, is really the big thing here. And then also opening Ninja. Yeah, I just don't think it's very good. I think the River Shrine Ronin is a little bit awkward, admittedly. But I think even if that's not the best opening, which I could believe, I just don't think there's any way like that it's worth going for Ninja. I think you want to focus on stuff that's like doing more. And I mean, River Shrine, if nothing else, like the bot open change Ninja. Like change River Shrine would certainly be better. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.